Hey everyone, welcome back to G Money Sports. And today it's been a minute, but I want to talk about why I believe that Derrick White should start over Lonnie Walker IV, and why I think it'd be better for the team and for both players if they just kind of switch roles or switch positions, really. So first of all, I'll start about why Derrick should start. So I think Derrick should start simply because of what he's done as a starter. Because if you look at that one season, DeJounte got hurt. Derrick was a starter. Derrick was like our third best player behind DeMar in LA, and we made the playoffs. You remember we lost to the Nuggets in a 7 game series. But in that series, Derrick was great. That first game, we all remember that big dunky over Millsap, and the big game-winning steal in Game 1 to steal Game 1 from Denver. And then Game 3, he put up a 36.9 and locked up Jamal Murray, who we know now looks like a superstar in the playoffs at times. The way he smoked Utah and smoked the Clippers. So we know Jamal's a big time player. And Derrick, he had his moments against him where he was outplaying him and really reaching his levels at times. So then Derrick back down to life. We know Derrick's not as good as Jamal. But we saw those flashes of just a young player growing in confidence, growing in experience, and he kept going. And then it was weird. We decided to go with Forbes over Derrick when DeJounte came back. It was really DeJounte over White, which I agree with. I like DeJounte. But Derrick should have been right next to him. The argument was that they couldn't space the floor together, but they absolutely can. They're both shooting around 35%. And I mean, Derrick, he's a little slow. He's coming off injury, obviously. He's not shooting as well as he usually does, but he's letting it fly. And looking at the bubble, I mean, Derrick might have been our second best player with DeRozan. Him, DeRozan, Keldon, DeJounte, they were lighting people up in the bubble. So to me, it just doesn't make sense that Derrick's starting to get healthy. And when he does get healthy, he should start. I think he's the better player. He's a little older, more experienced. And I think it would just fit Derrick to play next to DeJounte. It improves defense, too, because as you saw in the Rockets game, where we won 111 to 106. We held them to 106. So that's pretty good. And so the starting line, we rolled with DeJounte, Derrick, DeMar, Keldon, and Jakob at the 5. So all 4 of those guys are plus defenders. And then DeMar is okay. People say he's bad. He's okay. He has a good defensive body, and he makes a lot of nice plays at times. But that lineup was lights out defensively. I mean, look at Houston. They were without Christian Wood, who might be their best player. But you look at Boogie, you look at Victor Oladipo, a star. John Wall, still a good player. Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker can get hot. And we did a good job on them for the most part with that starting lineup. And our thing is, the starting lineup, we always get off to slow starts. And some of that's because offensively, just a little out of sorts. And defensively, we just get smoked. We can't stop a soul. The only plus defender is really DeJounte. And Keldon's a good defender too. I like Keldon. But he can struggle out the gate too. He comes out aggressive, effort. He's a really good player. I really like Keldon. But in that lineup, it's really just DeJounte. And I like Lonnie as a defender too, but he's not as good as Derrick. So I think putting Derrick into starting lineup, it helps the defense. It helps Derrick. I think he deserves it. And offensively, just another guy who could create their own shot, create shots for others. Another playmaker, passer, shooter, defender. I think Derrick should start. I think he deserves it. I think once he's fully healthy, he should start. Now, onto my bigger point really is Lonnie. And I love Lonnie, man. Lonnie is second, third best player, definitely Lonnie. But Lonnie, he's been extremely inconsistent. He's been the most inconsistent out of all the young guys. Like, DeJounte's been lights out. He's had a couple bad games, but DeJounte's been great. If you just hit the rim, DeJounte's been really good. Keldon, he's up and down a little bit too, but he's a little more consistent. He just puts in more effort. He's just that hustle guy, that big time player who never gives up on the play. And then Derrick just being his consistent self. Even Devin Vassell, he's just doing his thing. Defensively, locked down. Offensively, he can get in the lane sometimes, make a couple of jumpers, hit the 3. But it just makes sense for Lonnie to come off the bench because it gives Lonnie the opportunity to just get more touches, have the ball in his hands, him making decisions, him getting to his spots, him going for that mid-range, him being a good three-point shooter, him getting to the rim and finishing. Because in that starting lineup, he just doesn't get those opportunities. He's more of a spot-up shooter. And then they can mask his defensive deficiencies a little better on the bench with Patty Mills' effort. And you look at Devin Vassell being Devin Vassell, or even Jakob Poeltl being that rim protector in the middle, can help out Lonnie a lot, help improve Lonnie as a defender. The example you gotta look at, the 2 games DeRozan was out, Lonnie Walker was lights out. He was our best player in those 2 games, scoring 20 plus in both games, 2 of his best games of his career, easily the 2 best games of the season for him. So it just makes sense opportunity-wise. He can be a real Ginobili-like weapon. I'm not saying he's Ginobili, I'm not saying he's Manu. But he can be that kind of weapon off the bench, along with a Manu, along with a Rudy, along with a Jakob and Devin Vassell, or whoever else you want to throw in there. Lonnie fits better on the bench. And I think Derrick fits better starting lineup. It helps that starting lineup get off to better starts, not terrible starts. It helps their defense, helps their playmaking, helps everything. That's the video, man. I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think Derrick should start? Do y'all think just Derrick's gonna start? He's not healthy. Do you think Lonnie should get another opportunity to be a starter? Because Lonnie's a good player. I just think Lonnie's a little young. He's not fully ready. Compared to Derrick, who was consistent. Lonnie's inconsistent. I think it just makes sense. But tell me your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, baby, go Spurs go.